Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Athel, so let's get into it. Alrighty, Athel is one of the 4 starting champions that you can pick as a new player in the game, and Athel is a great choice for a starting champion. In this video, I'm just going to kind of generally talk about her and show you the Athel that I have built, talk about how to gear her up and what she's good for and all that. So, yeah, let's just pull her up and kind of talk about her in general. Athel is a rare in the Sacred Order with magic affinity. And her A1 is going to be attack one enemy 3 times with a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns on the last hit. Her A2 is an AoE attack all enemies with a 15% chance extra of inflicting a critical hit on a 3-turn cooldown. So that's a really good A2 there. The A3 is place a 25% increase attack buff on this champion for 2 turns, and also place a 30% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns. If this champion's current HP is less than 50%, gains an extra turn. Then Athel's aura, just like all 4 of the starting champions, is increase ally HP in all battles by 50%. So the cool thing about Athel is this A1 here makes her really endgame viable for the clan boss because of the Giant Slayer Mastery. Having an A1 that attacks one enemy 3 times is going to proc that effect of Giant Slayer really often, which increases her damage late game. And she also, as a bonus, places the weaken, has a 75% chance to place a weaken. And now if you max out her skills, it gets even better. So one interesting point about weaken is recently it got nerfed to where it does not affect damage over time effects like poison. So weaken is nowhere near as strong in the early to mid game as it used to be versus the clan boss, because you could make all those poisons and HP burns and stuff hit that much harder, but that's not the case. So weaken is still a good ability, it's just not crazy like it used to be. But nonetheless, this A1 makes her endgame viable against the clan boss, which is always good for a hero. The A2 here, the Divine Blades, is very good. It's going to be critting a lot, and it's just straight up damage buffs when you use skill books on it. The A3, having a character that can self-buff is very good, and it's especially good for farming the campaign. You can get that down to a 4 cooldown, and the buffs last 2 turns, so it's going to be up a high percentage of the time. It's also a good ability for the arena. The aura is what it is. So, alright, that's kind of like the general look at Athel, and now I'll kind of show you my Athel farming in the campaign. Athel is great because she is endgame viable for the campaign. I like to farm stage 12-3 because it's really good. It's kind of a good blend of silver and XP. 12-6 is actually a little bit more XP per energy, but not quite as much silver. So I like to trade off that slightly less XP to get more silver out of stage 3 because shields sell for more. So I'll kind of show you how it works with Athel. I'll just throw her in with a bunch of low food and kind of show that she can clear brutal 12-3 endgame completely solo, and she does it really easily. She rarely drops even below half HP. Athel was actually my first 6-star, and I'm very happy with that decision. She is viable in all sorts of different situations, and she is great at the campaign as far as a rare is concerned. For her grades, as far as a rare is concerned, I have her as an A+ in the campaign, an A- versus the clan boss because of weaken getting nerfed. She used to be an A+ because she was great in the early mid game and late game. Now I'm going to give her an A- because she's great in the end game still, but not quite the same in the early to mid game. In the arena, I gave her an A because as far as rares are concerned, she is very good in the arena. And then same thing in dungeons. She's kind of got a bunch of utility. You can use her in the spider den. You can use her in all sorts of different areas. So Athel is going to be probably one of the top 5 rares in the game, in my opinion. So just in terms of her general usefulness and the fact that you can use her everywhere and the fact that she's endgame viable against the clan boss makes her just an exceptional rare. Alright, so that was her farming on Brutal really easily with a bunch of level 1s. She can obviously carry Brutal solo. And now I'll kind of show you how I built her, what artifacts, etc. So, okay. As far as sets, you're going to want her to have the Vampire set for farming the campaign. And what I did was went 2-piece speed with my 4-piece Vampire set, because then I can use her in the arena. And she doesn't really need the extra attack to clear the campaign. She does plenty of damage, as you just saw. I can use the speed set because speed is so essential in the arena. I want to be able to use her in the arena and in the campaign, so that's why I kind of went with the 4-piece Vampire with the speed, because, I mean, we all know speed is absolutely critical in the arena, and I don't want to have to swap out her gear constantly and spend all that silver, so I just went with the 4-piece lifesteal set with 2-piece speed. So I'll actually pull this over. I always make these for my champion guides. I've got this. I'll have a link to this down in the video description. Shows kind of my recommended masteries, shows the grades, and it shows the stat priority for the champion. So we can see that crit rate is absolutely essential. If you have watched kind of my artifact guide, you will know that the artifacts in the top 3 always roll the same stat. Weapons always roll attack. Helms always roll HP. Shields always roll defense. So the 3 on the bottom are the ones where we can get different main stats. Excuse me. And what I would recommend is gloves go with crit rate. And ideally you'd want one that are 5-star, because you can get a 50% crit rate. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. But I've still got her, you know, pretty close to 100. Ideally you want to get her crit rate to 100%, and if I just change that one artifact, if I get 5-star gloves, I can get her to that 100% threshold. For the armor, we're going to probably want to go with attack percentage, 5-star, 50% attack percentage on our armor slot. And then for boots, these were the best I had in terms of lifesteal boots that I already spent a lot on. You want either attack percent or speed, ideally. It's not really necessary to have speed on your boots if you're using her as a campaign farmer, but speed is excellent in the arena, as I said before. So that's kind of your 2 options there. You want to go with either main stat being speed or attack percentage. Mine are attack 190s because I already had these laying around, and they boost my crit damage and speed and attack percentage. They were really good, so I just went with these. But ideally, at some point, I'm going to want to switch those to probably attack percent. Maybe speed if I want to make her even better in the arena, but we'll kind of have to play it by ear there. But yeah, gloves, crit rate, armor, attack percentage, and then boots, attack percentage, or speed. Okay, so that's kind of the gear. I'll go over the masteries now. Now, Athel is worth doing the Minotaur grind with. She is very endgame viable. I have not done the Minotaur grind yet. It's not something I'm focusing on. I think that's kind of something you should focus on a little bit down the road. Some people rush to the Minotaur grind a little bit too soon, in my opinion. I kind of want to get some 6 stars established before I start the Minotaur grind. But you do definitely want to get the first few masteries, because these, like, first 2 or 3 rows, or the first 2 rows, the third one can get kind of expensive because it requires the next tier of scrolls. The first 2 rows are very easy to get to, so you should at least kind of do what I have on the screen. It's very worth the energy investment. You get that crit rate, then you slide down to get the crit damage. Those 2 upgrades are very easy to get and very essential. We slide over to this one. Increased damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with full HP. That's going to be really good because your first attack in the campaign, and also she has good speed in the arena, so that's just a flat 5% upgrade for her damage when she gets that first attack off in the arena. As far as, like, you see this picture I had, I kind of recommend going with the offense tree and the support tree. I did highlight the ones in red on defense that I would go with if you want to go that route. You can only pick 2 out of the 3. So if you do want to go the defense route, I have those in red, but I would recommend kind of doing the offense and support that I have here. And I don't really want to bore you and kind of read over every single mastery, but this is kind of the general gist, and the important thing is getting her endgame to this giant slayer. I don't know if I've explained this in any video, so I guess I should. Has a 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 7.5% of the target champion's max HP, or 3% of the target's max HP when attacking bosses. So what this means is Athel's A1 attacks one enemy 3 times. And this is a 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage. So she goes 1, 2, 3 stabs at 30%, which means it's going to be extremely likely that she procs that Giant Slayer effect every time she uses her A1, which makes her extremely good versus the clan boss and those type of situations. So that is a great mastery to get to for her, but it is quite the grind. Just fair warning, it's going to be thousands and thousands of energy invested to get her to there, but if you do, you will be handsomely rewarded. So yeah, I believe that kind of covers everything that I wanted to go over about Athel. So in conclusion, she is one of the best raiders in the game, definitely worth 6-starring, worth investing in, and if you chose her as your starting champion, it was a really good choice. So as always, if you have any questions, drop it down in the comments and I will do my best to help you out. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.